podcast that exposes the truth. Dale, your host, is happy to have you listening to the show. He will have a new episode twice a month on Saturdays. There may be bonus shows if the news warrants for it. Thank you for listening to him talk about what he believes to particularly important issues facing America today. He will spend most of his time talking about topics that have at first blush have nothing to do with today's news. However, he hopes you agree where the topics are important to each day. You can voice your disagreements or agreements on his comment section at the show's website, https://coffee-time-again.com, or email him at host@coffee-time-again.com. He does not do Twitter, so do not bother looking for him. Please keep your comments clean. He will have to remove all vulgar, name-calling, racist, hate comments, etc. You can disagree with him without being disagreeable. He has his cup, get yours. Here we go on today's journey.
Hello, Dale here. Welcome to the show, brought to you by Coffee Time Again, exposing the truth. Today's topic is continuation of slavery, human trafficking, or in plain English, slave trading. Please sit back and then learn more about what is not talked about openly and needs to be. Human trafficking. What is human trafficking? Who are the human traffickers? Who are the victims? How does this relate to history? I hope to start a dialogue on these topics within your family, church, civic organization, social group, online, on the radio, and on television networks without the violence. Again, without the violence. Slavery has been around since the days of prehistory. Human trafficking is the modern day or nice or politically correct way of saying slavery. Most people who hear the term think of the sex worker, another PC word for prostitute. This is true. However, slaves are also used in farm fields, in motels and hotels as maids, factories, anywhere there are workers or are slaves. I believe that the human trafficking today is more prevalent than in centuries past. It is worldwide and happening right in your city, county, state, province, country, no matter where you live in a large metropolitan city or a rural farming county. There is slavery going on in all its ugly forms. It began back in prehistory when one fighting group defeated another one and the captives were kept as slaves for the winners. The Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, Jews all had slaves. There were temple prostitutes who were captured from wars. History shows us the Caesars of Rome and the aristocrats had sex parties with slaves and children. This is a short history of how it started. I would bet that even the early humans, such as Neanderthals, had slaves, and early humans almost certainly would have had slaves. So it is not something that is new to humanity. Quote, the doctrine of discovery established a spiritual, political, and legal justification for colonization and seizure of land not inhabited by Christians. This has been invoked since Pope Alexander IV issued the Papal Bull in Terra Centera, get it right here in a minute, in 1493. Remember that date, 1493? Of course, you may remember it better as 1492. Columbus, yes, exactly, the year after Columbus. This doctrine was used to enslave the native populations all over the world. The Portuguese in the 16th century were the first to engage in the Atlantic slave trade. In 1526, they completed the first transatlantic slave voyage from Brazil to Brazil from other Europeans soon followed suit. The Dutch introduced slaves to the colonies in 1619. Now, this is a lot of controversy, and I'm going to hopefully get some comments on this, but it did happen. In 1619, Dutch traders brought African slaves taken from a Spanish ship to Point Comfort in North America. The Africans were also generally treated as indentured servants, not as slaves, as indentured servants. That's the reason we can say what we're saying. In early colonial era, several colonial colleges held enslaved people as workers and relied upon them to operate. So we've had them around America since 1619, and it's still going on. This means that slaves have been in America for a long time, and they are still here. Those from all ethnic, religions, colors, creeds, in other words, from all over the world. The people who enslave other human beings, in my humble opinion, are the low lives of humanity. How such a person exists is beyond me. The pain and trauma that is caused by it is tremendous and lasts a lifetime. Who are these subhumans? The quotes that follow my comments are from www.humanrightsfirst.org/resource/who-r-human-trafficker. The ones we want to find and prosecute are the following scumbags. And I quote, according to trafficking expert Louise Shelley, traffickers choose to trade in humans because they are low startup costs, minimal risk, high profits, and large demand. For organized crime groups, human beings have one added advantage over drugs. They can be sold repeatedly. Talk about an excuse to cause all the trauma to a human being. They're easy, cheap to kidnap, purchase, or coerce into the trap of slavery. Quote, traffickers range from small-time solo operators to loose networks of criminals to highly sophisticated organized criminal organizations that operate internationally. Even solo operators can operate internationally with the loose borders in the world today, especially in Europe and on the southern bordering United States. I have seen documentaries on sex trade from Ukraine to Turkey into Europe by just one woman and two men. They were not just enslaving for the sex trade. Some were part of the network of labor slaves in motels, hotels, farms, and other industries worldwide. Organized crime is a sizable part of the slave market, as they have the resources to use, from the money to bribe officials from the local police to politicians to look the other way, including airline employees that help boycott of the money. Imagine that. Quote, human trafficking is the second largest criminal enterprise in the world, earning exploiters more than $150 billion, that's billion with a B, each year, according to a report released by the International Labor Organization in May of 2014. With the potential of high monetary rewards and very low risk of punishment, the business of human trafficking has been steadily growing. Profits from human trafficking that have more than tripled over the past decade alone. It is not possible for me to get the true amount of the profit in the slave trade after the year of 2014. However, based on what is quoted, it is most likely tripled or quadrupled since then. However, as much as it is a lot and needs to end. Taking a cue from the 2014 report, it tripled. There is a great chance it tripled again or even more by 2021. Quote, both legal and illegal activities can enable human trafficking, as it is not only taking bribe-taking officials who enable the business of human trafficking, but also the actors in transportation, hospitality, advertising, and financial sectors whose services are often used by perpetrators. Some of these businesses know their services are being used in criminal activities, and others do not. Legal businesses are being exploited by traffickers that are in a particularly good position to identify trafficking and aid in its disruption. I don't see how a business can be legal and be exploited by slavers. However, if they are, I would say it would be easy for them to discover it and end it on their side. Quote, the exploiters of human trafficking include a wide range of criminals and criminal enterprises that organize, implement, and profit from the trafficking of human beings. Traffickers often rely on enablers in order to conduct their businesses, individuals, and entities, both legal and illegal, that provide goods and services to exploiters which make human trafficking possible and profitable. Again, profit rears its ugly head. In the illegal enterprise, I see nothing wrong with making a profit. It is in the slave trade that I find it repugnant. Taking the money out of it, as I said, is a part of the answer to end the slave trade. I will get to the best answer here soon. Let's take a look at who are the victimizers. Enablers are entities and individuals who knowingly or unknowingly provide goods and services, some through criminal activities, so that the trafficking can take place. Enablers are the buyers of illegal services as a slave. I see how some providers of goods can be unaware. However, I believe the vast majority know and are just turning their heads to make a profit. Quote, finally, consumers who are enablers. By underwriting the system of human slavery through purchases of goods and services produced by supply chains that include the labor of slaves, the labor of victims of the human trafficking. Now we get to the main issue, the buyer of the services of the slave, whether it be the farmer, the butcher shop, the brothel, fourth street walker, motel, hotel, child pornographer, marriage. It is the reason the profit is so high. Remove the demand and the profit goes away. If there is no market, there is no product. Part of the answer to stop the slave trade, and that will have to go to it along with removing the demand. I'm not smart enough to know how to stop the demand for slaves, as it is such a part of mental health issue in society, giving tactful approval by ignoring it unless it is a high-profile child pornography case. Then the outrage knows no boundaries. What needs to be is an outrage all the time. How does the victim become the victimizer? We know it happens all the time. What happens in the mind that tells the victimizer it's okay to have sex or download child pornography from the internet? What in the mind of someone says it's okay to have sex with a 13-year-old boy or girl? I can understand why a company or farm would want a slave, or someone who would want someone to do your housework or gardening. That goes back to profit and greed, and motive, or just lazy. To stop society's ignorance of business slave trading, it is to have a grassroots movement, as in the Tea Party of 2010, nationwide. There are groups organized in cities, however, they are not vocal enough, nor is it nationwide movement. There needs to be a loud voice in the world and scream out, "Stop it! This enough is enough. How many are too many?" And quote, an estimated 4.8 million people, mainly women and children, are trafficked in the commercial sex trade in 2016. More than 1 million children are victims of commercial sex exploitation each year. The International Labor Organization reports that women and girls are disproportionately harmed by the forced labor and sex trafficking. I know that some of what I've said here is old news. However, it is the newest numbers available to me. I am sure we can end this practice of the slave trade, and one way is to stop the damn PC crap and address the issue of those who bury their heads in the sand by to avoid looking at the major problem. I know there are organizations out there working to rescue the kidnapped and the victims. Most are overseas. There's at least one that I know of in the United States, and that is in Sacramento. It's called Three Strands Global Foundation. Their website is www.3strandsglobalfoundation.org. I challenge everyone who listens to this to get involved. I know there are more organizations out there, including Missing and Exploited Children's Network. Their website is www.missingkids.org. And I found this link on Facebook is another place to work for stopping the slave traders, and this is going to be a surprise, so sit back and get ready for it. www.timtebow.org. TimTebowFoundation.org. Sorry, I got it wrong. It's TimTebowFoundation.org. Thanks for listening to the show. I hope you liked it. Please leave a comment from my website at www.coffee-time-again.com, or at the show's website, www.coffee-time-again.lisbon. That's Lisbon, LIBSYN.com/website. And as usual, I always add, please consider supporting the Convention of States, also known as an Article 5 Convention. You are needed. Your country is in grave danger with the progressive liberal Democrats in charge. The website is www.conventionofstates.com. Part of their agenda is term limits, balanced budget, among other items. The next show we have is on education in America, or the lack thereof. Please join me for it. Enjoy yourself and be safe out there. It's a little rough around the edges. As a friend of mine used to say, good luck.
Thank you for listening to his rants and raves. There are show notes and a place to comment at https://coffee-time-again.com. He hopes that you liked what you heard and will tell others about him. Dale is attempting to get a following that both agrees and disagrees with him. He does not want a yes man. If you disagree, wonderful. Dale is happy to have you here as a part of the Coffee Time Again team. He does not want to talk about the news of the day. He is attempting to give a history lesson that is just as important about what is going on as the headlines of the day. Please do not hesitate to contact him. Just remember that Dale wants a clean show, meaning no cussing, name-calling, yelling, or hate allowed. You can disagree with Dale and not be disagreeable about it. If you have an idea for a show, just send him an email at host@coffee-time-again.com or on the comments at the show's website at https://coffee-time-again.com.